Hello, 29ers. Gigi is excited to present this festive episode, which celebrates Christmas and honors the love and teachings of Jesus Christ. Christmas truly is the best time of the year, don't you agree? In today's episode, we will focus on the true spirit of Christmas and share some fantastic games to liven up your holiday gatherings with family and friends. So hop on board. We'll share the rules for Christmas Gift Bingo, Dirty Santa, Christmas Guess Who, and Mr. and Mrs. Right. We will resume our discussion on We Are What We Eat Part 2 on January 2nd, but for now, let's get into the festive mood and have some fun.
Merry Christmas, 29ers. I'm super excited to bring you this festive episode. Christmas truly is the most wonderful time of the year, so let's focus on the spirit of the holiday season. Christmas is also a time of joy, festive music, shopping, laughter, warm embraces, and delicious food. Embrace the spirit and make the most of this wonderful season. But the real fun comes from the games we play. You're missing out if you haven't played any Christmas games yet. Don't worry, there's still time to catch up. I'll share some fantastic games that will make your celebrations extra special. You're going to have a lot of fun playing them. While we can't play together through the podcast, remember the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. So, I'm bringing the games to you, my fellow 29ers. These are some of the best games ever, and I hope you, your family, and friends enjoy playing them. Remember, you're only as old as you feel, so everyone can join the fun. Our fantastic announcer Mike will explain the rules and share 2 stories about Mr. and Mrs. Wright's game. You can use them if you like. Enjoy.
That's a great idea. Instead of relying on a dedicated reader, everyone can participate. First, we have Dirty Santa, a game that will spice up any holiday party. The rules are simple. Each participant brings a wrapped gift to the party, usually adhering to a predetermined value and theme. The gifts should not have labels or tags revealing the giver or recipient. Participants then draw numbers to determine the order of play. Starting with the person who drew number 1, they pick a gift from the pile and unwrap it for everyone to see. The following person, number 2, can either steal the gift from number 1 or choose a new one from the pile. If number 2 steals, then number 1 gets to select another gift from the pile. The game continues with each person having the option to steal an open gift or pick a new one. Once you steal a gift, you can typically do so 3 times before it becomes locked and cannot be stolen again. But wait, there's more. Here's a variation of Dirty Santa that can add even more excitement to the game. One option is the guessing game. Before opening each gift, participants must try to guess who brought it or what is inside. The person with the most correct guesses wins a prize. White Elephant is similar to Dirty Santa but with different focuses. White Elephant emphasizes humor, featuring inexpensive gag gifts meant for entertainment. In contrast, Dirty Santa is more competitive. It allows players to steal gifts and encourages strategic thinking. While both involve playful gift exchanges, Dirty Santa leans towards competition, whereas White Elephant prioritizes fun. Both games add excitement to holiday gatherings. Dirty Dice. Participants roll a pair of dice instead of drawing numbers to determine their action. For example, rolling a 1 means opening a new gift. A 2 means stealing an opened gift, and so on. Dirty Bingo. Each participant gets a bingo card with different actions or scenarios related to the game. The first person to get a bingo wins a prize. Next, we have Christmas Gift Bingo, a fun way to exchange gifts with friends or family. Each player brings a wrapped gift to the party, and the host provides the bingo and call number cards. The host shuffles the call number cards and draws them individually, announcing the number or item to the players. The first person to get 5 in a row vertically, horizontally, or diagonally shouts bingo and gets to choose a gift from the table to unwrap. The game continues until all the gifts are taken, but there's a twist. The next person who gets a bingo can either choose an unwrapped gift or steal one from someone else. Lastly, we have Mr. and Mrs. Right, a game that only requires some gifts and a story. The story is about a couple getting ready for Christmas but having some mishaps. The game is simple. Everyone brings a wrapped gift or the host can provide the gifts, and everyone sits or stands in a circle. One person reads the story out loud, and every time they say right or left, the gifts are passed in that direction. You can also use other words that sound like right or left, such as right, bright, leftover, and right. That makes the game more fun and tricky because you must listen carefully to the story, and the words. The game ends when the story is over and you get to keep the gift you are holding. You can use any story you want, but Gigi provides two. The first is from ultimatecampresource.com. Ready? Here we go. This is a story about Mr. and Mrs. Wright. One evening, they were baking cookies. Mrs. Wright called from the kitchen, "Oh no, flour is none left. You will need to go right out to the store." "I can't believe you forgot to check the pantry," grumbled Mr. Wright. "You never get anything right." "Don't be difficult, dear," replied Mrs. Wright. "It will only take 20 minutes if you come right back. Go to 51st and Peoria and turn left at the stop sign. Then go to 61st Street and turn right, and there it will be on your left," declared Mrs. Wright as her husband left the house. Mr. Wright found the store and asked the clerk where he could find the flour. The clerk pointed and said, "Go to aisle 4 and turn left. The flour and sugar will be on your left." Mr. Wright made his purchase and walked right out the door. He turned left, but couldn't remember where he had left his car. Suddenly he remembered that he had driven Mrs. Wright's car and was in the driveway at home right where he had left it. He finally found the right car and put his purchase right inside. Eventually, a weary Mr. Wright found his way home. Mrs. Wright had been waiting impatiently. "I thought you would be right back," she said. "I left all the cookie ingredients on the kitchen counter, and the cats got into the milk. You'll just have to go right out again." Mr. Wright sighed. He had no energy left. "I am going right to bed," he said. "Anyway, I need to go on a diet, so I might as well start right now. Isn't that right, dear?" That sounds like a fun game, Gigi. Let me read the second one. Ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, a couple named Mr. and Mrs. Wright. They lived in a big house on the right side of town. One day they decided to go for a drive in their new car. They turned right at the first intersection, then left at the second one. They kept driving until they saw a sign that said "Wrong Way." They realized they had made a mistake and turned around. But as they did, they saw a police car behind them with flashing lights. The officer came over and asked them for their license and registration. He looked at their papers and said, "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court." Mr. and Mrs. Wright were shocked and confused. What had they done wrong? They asked the officer why he had stopped them. He said, "You were driving on the wrong side of the road. You should have stayed on the right." Mr. and Mrs. Wright felt embarrassed and apologized. They said they had gotten lost and didn't see the sign. The officer said he understood and let them go with a warning. He told them to be more careful next time and follow the right directions. So folks, are you looking for some fun holiday activities? Try these gift exchange games that are sure to make everyone laugh. You can take, switch, and steal gifts from others, but don't worry, it's all in good fun. You'll receive something and be ready for surprises and giggles, and you might even end up with something unexpected. Feel free to grab gifts. That's what makes it enjoyable. And it's the only time you can do that without getting in trouble or being judged. The goal is to have fun and create memories with your loved ones. Once again, happy holidays to you all.
Thank you, Mike. Holidays are a time to break from our daily routines, spread love, and connect with others. We hope you enjoy some of these games and spend quality time with your family. So, dear 29ers and future 29ers, let us celebrate this holiday season by expressing gratitude for all we have and praying for less fortunate people. Additionally, let us join in prayer for world peace so that no one has to be separated from their loved ones due to wars, kidnappings, or other unforeseen disasters. As we enter the Christmas season, remember that it celebrates God's immense love. He sent His only Son so that whoever believes in Him shall have eternal life, not to condemn the world, but to save it. Let's strive to be a loving, Christ-centered family during this time, setting aside our differences to unite in fellowship, love, joy, and peace, just as Jesus would want. Dr. G and I will read a Christmas version of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 because of its beautiful and timeless message about love.
Happy holidays to all of you. It brings us great joy to have you with us today as we celebrate this special time of year. As Gigi mentioned, Christmas is about love, joy, and peace. We hope this holiday season brings you all the love and happiness you deserve. Let's also take a moment to pray for world peace so that everyone can be with their loved ones during this meaningful time. As Gigi said, we want to share a Christmas version of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which we found on tullilish.com, a Roman Catholic church in Ireland. This version beautifully captures the true meaning of Christmas and is worth sharing. Thank you once again for being a part of this special episode. Here it goes. If I decorate my house perfectly with streamers, strands of twinkling lights, and shiny balls, but do not show love to my family, I'm just another decorator.
If I tire myself out in the kitchen, baking dozens of mince pies, preparing gourmet meals, and arranging a beautifully adorned table, but do not show love to my family, I'm just another cook.
If I work at the soup kitchen, sing carols on the church steps, and give all that I have to charity, but do not show love to my family, it profits me nothing.
If I decorate the tree with baubles and fairy lights, and attend a myriad of pre-Christmas parties, but do not focus on Christ, I have missed the point.
Love stops the cooking to hug the child.
Love sets aside the decorating to listen to loved ones.
Love is kind, though harried and tired.
Love doesn't envy another's home that has coordinated Christmas china and table linens.
Love doesn't yell at the kids to get out of the way, but is thankful they are there to be in the way.
Love doesn't give only to those who can give in return, but rejoices in giving to those who can't.
Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things.
Love never fails. Video games will break, pearl necklaces will be lost, and golf clubs will rust, but giving the gift of love will endure.
Wow, I love it. That's what Christmas should be about. Gigi, this passage from 1 Corinthians is a powerful reminder of the true essence of love, one that is patient, kind, and selfless. It perfectly captures the spirit of Christmas, when we come together to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ and the love he represents. Let us all take these words to heart and spread love and kindness to everyone around us this holiday season.
Let love be our priority today and always. To wrap up our festive gathering, we have a special treat for you, the beautiful poem, One Solitary Life. This poem reflects on the impact of Jesus. Jess will recite it for us. Enjoy the poem. Jess, are you ready?
Sure. One Solitary Life. He was born in an obscure village, a child of a peasant woman. He grew up in another obscure village where he worked in a carpenter shop until he was 30. Then for 3 years he was an itinerant preacher. He never had a family or owned a home. He never set foot inside a big city. He never traveled 200 miles from the place he was born. He never wrote a book or held an office. He didn't go to college. He had no credentials but himself. He did none of the things that usually accompany greatness. While he was still a young man, popular opinion turned against him. His friends deserted him. He was turned over to his enemies. He went through the mockery of a trial. He was nailed to a cross between two thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for the only piece of property he had, his coat. When he was dead, he was taken down and laid in a borrowed grave. 20 centuries have come and gone, and today he is still the central figure for much of the human race. All the armies that ever marched, all the navies that ever sailed, and all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned, put together, have not affected the life of man upon this earth as powerfully as this one solitary life.
I assume that you all are familiar with A Solitary Life, which Jessica just read about the life of Jesus, who changed the world through his humble existence. The author is unknown, but some attribute it to James Allan Francis. Thank you, Jess, for sharing this beautiful story, and happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you, Jess. That was truly beautiful. I'd also like to thank you, Mike, for reading the game rules to our audience. That's all for today, folks. Remember to join us again on January 2nd. We hope you have a wonderful time with your loved ones and celebrate the holidays in style. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us here. 29ers, you rock. And remember, if you don't like your Christmas gifts, you can always pass them on to someone else. After all, it's the thought that counts, right?